Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm here with Newman, who's the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Coordinator over at the Summit County Health Department, and we're talking all about the Mental Wellness Alliance. The Summit County Health Department has been working for the past few years now on helping our county become mentally healthy and mentally well, and there's a lot going on, and we're excited to talk to Aaron about everything that's happening. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So there is a Summit County Clubhouse, and there's an event tonight about that. So will you explain what the Clubhouse is and talk about the event?
Certainly. We don't have it yet. We're trying to put it together. We have a wonderful startup group that has been working diligently for the past several months to really identify how we can bring this program to Park City. The Clubhouse, or Clubhouse International, is a program designed to help individuals with a diagnosed mental illness really learn the skills of independence to help them reintegrate into society. So it's designed to give them retail, culinary, basic employment skills, then also to serve as an area where they can have socialization with others and get to sort of that next level of independence. We're really excited because we would be the 5th clubhouse in the state of Utah, and we know we have a group. This addresses a need we have in our community. As we talked about within our overarching Summit County Mental Wellness Strategic Plan we put together with the community, we identified a clubhouse as a need for Summit County. What's interesting is we didn't plan on doing anything with this till year 3 or 4, but thanks to a generous donation from a donor, as well as the Park City Community, the Christian Center of Park City, who's willing to give us a small bit of space to house the clubhouse, we've now moved this up to a year 1, year 2 initiative. Tonight, we have an open house to really kind of talk about what is the purpose of the program. We have some people coming up from Alliance House, which is the clubhouse down in Salt Lake, and we're extremely lucky to have them guide us in setting this up. They've been around for over 30 years, and they're actually a clubhouse training site right here in Utah, so we don't have to travel anywhere to learn how do we run it, how do we put it together, what people do we need to make sure it's a success. And so they're going to have some of their participants coming up, sharing their journey, sharing why it's so important to them that they take part in a clubhouse. Clubhouse has a great tagline I love. It's meant to be a launching pad and not a landing pad. So for people that are at this point in their life that they feel they can go for those next steps, that's what Clubhouse is here and all about.
This is the first time, well, when it came up with the Mental Wellness Alliance, the Summit County Clubhouse, I hadn't heard of this concept before, but I have to admit, I love it. I think sometimes we focus so much on helping people that have mental illness and who are struggling through that journey, that when it ends and they're ready, we kind of stop there sometimes.
Well, and that's one of our primary goals of the strategic plan is how do we have that reintegration? Because it's about a quality of life, and everyone should have the ability to go out and have a sense of independence. Now, independence for a person in the program could be very different than independence for you or I, but they're at that point where they feel successful, and that's the whole point of Clubhouse. The other part with it is the members own it. It's not the board of trustees, it's not the director or the staff, it's the actual members of the clubhouse are doing the day-to-day operations. So they're doing the bookkeeping, they're doing the cleaning, they're doing the recruitment, all of those different aspects. So they really have a sense of ownership and pride about the program.
And they're building a resume to help them with future jobs, and also just learning how to do a lot of different skills they might not have the opportunity to learn how to do.
Exactly.
So tell us again where the event is, what time is it tonight?
So it's from 5:30 to 7:30. It's an open house at the Christian Center of Park City. And their wonderful new facility. It's on just above, we're in their large new room. If you haven't seen it, it's just amazing. It's right above the boutique. So come on out. There'll be lots of people to talk about. We'll have a small presentation to kind of give a sense of where we're at in our process. Because our greatest need right now, we have some really wonderful dedicated volunteers, but we need members. We need those people that can come in and help guide us. Because right now we know what we kind of hope it looks like, but we want them to really take on and say, you know what, that's nice, but we want it to look like this.
Absolutely. So what's the timeline for this? When are you hoping to have it up and running?
Our hope, really, and I say this and it keeps getting faster and faster and closer just from how things are going, but June 1st is our target for our first group and cohort to be in the clubhouse. Oh,
that's great. So the great thing to go to, learn more information tonight at 5:30 to 7:30.
Correct.
Did I say that correctly? Awesome. You also have some other great things that are happening along with mental health right now with the county.
We've had a lot of things. So last night I gave a report, just kind of a status update to the county council. And when I was done, I kind of went back and took a deep breath and there is a lot. For me, I'm kind of in the weeds, so I'm always thinking, well, we got to do more, we got to do more. And when you step back and see so much of our successes that we've had in the past 18 months is all we've been doing with this.
Feels longer.
Exactly.
I said 3 years. That was wrong. 18 months. Wow, you've done a lot then.
Well, it's not me, it's the community. And that's what's made this key. All the mental health initiatives that we're doing in Summit County are community-led and community-developed. And some of those big community wins have been, we've just entered into a memorandum of understanding between, again, the Christian Center, the People's Health Clinic, Peace House, and Jewish Family Services for them to share a psychiatric advanced practice registered nurse, or APRN. And that's a critical win for our community because that's part of medication management. And that's something we've not had in our community. That's a large gap. Wait times to get in to see someone who can manage your psychiatric medication can be upwards of 140 days in Summit County. And we've seen it fluctuate all the way up to 160 days to see someone. And that's a big part of a person's treatment if they need that medication. Because psychiatric medication, you really can't just have your primary care physician make this, oh, let's go ahead and give you this. There's a lot of complications with it, and you need someone who's been trained. For APRN to go ahead and get that additional psychiatric is about 6,000 additional hours of internships, of training that they have to have before they can get that designation.
Oh, yeah, that's a big win. That's
and it's all being sponsored by a wonderful donor who has agreed to fund the position for 3 years and to give us a chance for up to 5 years as we work to see how can we utilize insurance as well to supplement this program. But the person is going to be, as they're shared, is going to be following the tenets of where they're at. So when they're at the People's Health Clinic, there's no charge. But if there are other areas, there may be some insurance used to help supplement.
Oh, makes sense. Well, that's very heartwarming that a donor stepped forward and saw the need and offered his funds. That's
We've
important.
been very, very lucky. We're in the ballpark roughly of about 2.7 million has been either donated directly or through in-kind gifts and services for the efforts of our community.
That's incredible, and something I love about Park City. People aren't afraid to step up and donate to something that's important to them. Exactly. And I think that you guys are doing a great job of being a steward of those funds and using them as they should be used, which is sometimes a challenge, I think.
Well, in a lot of those terms, Ollie Wilder and the Park City Community Foundation are just tremendous partners. Shameless plug, with Live PC, Give PC coming up, they have now created a mental wellness general fund page that anyone can go to and donate. And those funds go to support all of our initiatives in the community, but not just to the health department by any means, but to our partners, such as Connect Summit County, that we could use those funds to help them with their new database. If you have not seen this, it's an amazing feature. It's
incredible, it really is.
Shauna Weiss has just dedicated so much time, not only putting this together on the technology side, but then going out and meeting with all the clinicians, sitting down with them, doing site visits, learning what services do you provide, what insurances. Something I wish I had the time for, but I just don't. So with her doing that, it's amazing.
Well, and it's a great resource for people who are struggling. It's a place to start.
Exactly.
And whether or not they are able to get help from someone on that database, it might be someone else that's a result of the person they call who is on that database. It's a journey, but it's a great place to start, because sometimes you feel really alone when you're going down that path.
And it's hard. There's no real good place to start with that, and this is that start.
Absolutely. So you work very heavily with the Mental Wellness Alliance, and recently you've done a kind of a yearly review.
We did. Really, it's been amazing. Again, kind of when I look back, we have so many wins and so many completions. So the main point of the Alliance is to bring together the community to help in meeting the objectives and the means of the strategic plan. When we look at what we have about 12 committees and task forces. I know you sit on one of them. We're very glad to have you on our marketing and media. But when we look at all these things, we've had a lot of foundational work being laid. So there's not a lot of big, look at what we've done, we've accomplished this. But we did have quite a few of those. One of those is a program, it's called a PTSP. It's a post-traumatic stress protocol. And it's similar to PTSD, but it's designed for first responders. And in our program, we've extended it to teachers to get additional treatment beyond their typical 3 to 6 sessions that you have if you're involved with a traumatic incident with most insurances. We have people utilizing this program, and it's done outside the system because that's an important part. A lot of time with first responders, the trauma that they deal with, they have their own culture and their own way of pushing it down. And they don't want to admit they need to go and see these. But while they can hold up that facade at work, when they get home, it usually affects the family. And so this program allows family members to go out and get seek the treatment, but then also to bring their partners with them, to bring that family member who's the first responder or the teacher. And in communities where they have these programs, you see an increased awareness and acceptance of mental health and treatment, and that stigma for first responders starts to decrease. But the biggest point about this all is they're getting the help they need and not trying to push it down.
Which is the point of the mental wellness committee, really. And if you will you go back and kind of explain what the committee is, when it started, the basis of it, just kind of the nuts and bolts of that?
Well, the development of the Summit County Mental Wellness Alliance began with the galvanizing incident we had in 2016 with the loss of our 2 students at Treasure Mountain. After that, multiple initiatives began. You have the creation of Connect Summit County. The health department then decided it needed to do a needs assessment and identify what services do we have, where do we have gaps in terms of mental health and substance abuse. Park City School District then began its own work on how do we make sure something like this doesn't happen again. And then Ollie Wilder kind of noticed all these things happening all across the community and brought everyone together at the table. And they began talking about, okay, we now have a sense, thanks to the study, what are those critical gaps in our community? But to do anything, we need a strategic plan. So they created my original position to come in and help guide the community in creating a mental health strategic plan. And then it was realized, well, to do this, we need an organization that can keep everyone at the table. And that's how the Summit County Mental Wellness Alliance began. It was that coalition of all these people from the community, and it's still to this day a huge organization. We have about 210 active members engaged in committees, task forces, just volunteering at events. And we estimated last year, conservatively, they donated about 22,000 hours, or the equivalent of 10.5 full-time employees.
Oh, impressive.
In helping us meet all these objectives and means of the plan. So that's how we started. We started with initially 6 committees, but as we've grown and as people have had passions for things that really affect either directly or indirectly, we've built on to that community. In fact, just on Tuesday, the steering committee voted and approved a whole new committee to focus on an angle that we really didn't have in our strategic plan, and that is our elder care, or aging advocacy group, as they're calling themselves, to really look at how do we address these issues. Because when you look at the data, you see a spike once you hit retirement and suicides. And that's, we don't really talk about that, but that's some of our highest rates of suicide are in the ages of 70 to 90. And so how do we start to address that issue, and how do we combat different mental illnesses as a person age?
Well, I'm very impressed with everything that you're doing. Where can we get more information?
You can always go to the Summit County Health Department, and on the left there's a tab for mental wellness, and that'll take you to a general Summit County Mental Wellness landing pad that has a calendar of events, information. You can download the strategic plan, as well as the annual report is also on there. We are working on an actual website, and Derek Sidaway, our head of our marketing and PR, just informed me that we're also going to be on Facebook.
Oh, that's great. Well, again, I'm very impressed. I've lived in quite a few communities. My husband was in the military, and I've never seen a community come together so well and so cohesively for one goal, and I think it's definitely making a difference.
It really is, and like I said at the beginning, we would not be where we're at without all of our community partners.
Yeah, definitely not. Well, thanks so much, Aaron, for joining us. I could talk about this all day. Unfortunately, it's a live show, so Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again soon. All right, if you have some time this evening, go over to the Christian Center to talk about the Summit County Clubhouse from 5:30 to 7:30. It's a great concept. I'm very happy that we'll have something like this in our community. So head over there and learn more and see people who work at a Summit County Clubhouse down in Salt Lake. That and much more. Check out Summit County Health Department. Check out their website to find out how you can get involved with mental health in the county, and just a lot going on. And it's a pleasure to work on the committee and to be a part of this initiative here in Park City and beyond. We have much more coming up right after this quick break. Thanks for watching.